Comics. We're here at New York City Comic Con with the cast of Amazon's The Boys. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good.
Great.
I kind of want to get started by just having you go around and introduce yourselves and your characters for anybody not familiar with the phenomenal source material.
Hey, how's it going? Do we use these?
Yes, please.
Great. Okay. My name is Jack, and I play Huey.
My name is Karen, and I play the female.
My name's Carl, and I play Butcher.
I got my own, thanks, Carl. Thank you, though. I'm Anthony Starr, and I'm playing Homelander.
Laz Alonso playing Mother's Milk.
Chase Crawford playing the Deep.
It's a pretty deep voice. It's appropriate.
Quiet Storm.
So, can any of you talk about the world that we're in right now, a bit of the premise of the comics? I know we've got two teams of people who are pretty at odds.
Yeah, the show's basically about a group of vigilantes whose task it is to bring down an elite group of corrupt superheroes. So that's basically the world we're living in. It's like superheroes exist, and to the public perception, they're all amazing and they do incredible normal feats of superherodom, but in reality, they are all pretty bent and twisted individuals.
So I've looked at it, obviously, Garth Ennis's amazing source material, and he's one of my favorite writers because of how depraved his stuff gets.
Yeah.
And I'm curious to know if there were any elements of the original comic that didn't make it to Amazon or something that people pushed for and did make it on. The Herogasm is something that comes to mind. I don't know if you guys are familiar or...
Excuse me? I'm sorry, I just heard the gasm. What?
Anthony's just listening
I
for
didn't
gasm.
hear what you said. The what gasm?
The Herogasm?
Herogasm.
Oh, okay, yeah, no.
Yeah, I'm wondering...
Yeah,
so I'm wondering what elements of the comic did make it to the series and what didn't.
Well, I
or
don't
if you
want to
can
give
talk about that.
too much away, but I think that we have definitely taken elements from the comics that fans of the comics will recognize and be like, oh, okay, I remember that. And no, it is very depraved. It is extremely depraved, and you see people and superheroes doing things you'd never imagine on the show.
But I think that's the great thing about the show as well, is that it straddles both worlds. You know, there's some things that were in the comic that, to be honest, are impossible to put on TV because they wouldn't be allowed to be screened. So, you know, there's a little bit of editing going on, but at the same time, the fans of the comic, they're going to be super happy with what we've done. No pun intended. They're going to be really pleased, and people that are new to the show will love it. It's kind of an all play.
So this question, I guess, is for members of the Seven. Can you talk a little bit about what is redeemable about, say, Homelander or the Deep, or if there is anything at this point? Or
There's nothing redeemable about the Deep. Homelander, on the other hand, Homelander's very loyal. The Seven is his family. They're all his little babies, and he'll do anything to protect them. And he's probably the most misunderstood character in the show. And
Okay, wow.
and just has
Wow.
he's
Disagree. We
no,
don't
listen. He just has his own moral compass with a different sense of true north.
Carl, that sounds like it could be really, a little bit. Can you talk about the relationship between Billy and Homelander?
Well, yeah, I kind of want to protect that really for the audience to discover, but let's just say it's an adversarial one. You know, Billy Butcher has a goal, and that is specifically to bring Homelander down for reasons which you will see in The Boys.
And Karen, can we talk a little bit about the female who is enigmatic given her name?
Yeah. I've been having a lot of fun on set being the only female in The Boys. She kind of enters the season one as an outsider, and throughout the series or throughout the season, you see her transformation into becoming one of the boys.
Can we talk a little bit about how you get into the phenomenally different headspaces that are Glimmer on She-Ra, Princesses of Power, and the female? Like, what is that like for you as an actor?
Yeah, it's so funny because I came yesterday to New York Comic Con to promote She-Ra, and it's such a different vibe.
To say the least.
Yes, absolutely. And I love it because yesterday I got to, be the bubbly, girly, tap into that side of my human nature, and then today hopefully as the day goes on, we can get into the nitty-grittier, darker side.
I'm fascinated to learn what parts of your nature you have in common with the female, but we can put a pin in that.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's there. I'm a freak. Don't tell him.
And Jack, can you talk a little bit about your, I don't know if you can talk a little bit about your relationship with Annie January and
Oh,
what that
yeah.
might look like.
No, I think I'd say that. So basically, something happens to Huey at the start of this story, and it kind of throws his life for a tailspin. And then he meets Annie January kind of randomly on a park bench, and he starts to have, a little bit of feelings for her. But then he realizes that the two of them are from these completely separate worlds, and it gets complicated, to say the least. And I don't know. I don't want to get too much away, but their relationship and also the relationship I have with Butcher's character, it's been so awesome for me to do those scenes and play those relationships.
I'm curious about the relationship the boys have with Elizabeth Shue and just the CIA in general. And it feels like that could possibly get really tenuous given Billy Butcher's kind of single-minded mission and his general, I would say, lack of scruples when it comes to getting the job done. How does that affect his relationship with the people who created the team?
The thing about Butcher is he's really singularly focused on achieving what is best for Billy Butcher, really, and everything else is secondary. And obviously, as I said before, his goal is to take Homelander out. Broader than that is to take out superheroes, to bring down the Seven. That's the whole point. And he will use whatever relationship, whatever means of manipulation, deception, charm, whatever powers that he has within the realms of human ability, that he will use that to meet his own ends.
And enhanced with Compound Z.
No, that's probably one of the differences between the comics and this. Eric Kripke, our creator, our showrunner, and sort of head writer, we really wanted to present a story about humans with non-super abilities taking on the elite 1% of the 1%. It's representative of the little guy taking on the man, and so at this stage, none of the boys have superpowers or are enhanced with Compound V,
Except for
you.
It sounds really prescient for just a lot of what's going on today, which I think is a pretty good note for us to end on. Thank you guys so much for making the time. I appreciate you sitting in traffic and getting up here. You're welcome. Thanks so much.